After a little over 2 weeks break, I finally got back to railfanning in real life again. This was a day trip to Auckland, and although I only ended up seeing her for around 25 minutes, the trip was specifically made to see my closest friend one more time before she moved off to Melbourne, of all places. Throughout the day I was able to film plenty of the regular AM electric multiple units, as well as 3 freight trains towards the end of the day. We had to get up stupidly early in the morning, as we needed to get to Hamilton's Frankton station in time to catch the 6:05 AM Te Huia service to Auckland Strand. And no, I'm still not happy with the service's poor schedule. I mean, they've got enough coaches to easily double the frequency and have 4 trains a day in each direction, at the very least. Upon arrival at Frankton station, we find the usual 4-car consist with a DFB locomotive at each end. Why they're still insisting on using 2 locomotives on such a short train is beyond me, especially when they have a cab car. Seeing DFB 7335 again reminded me of the time, in March 2021, when she hauled a set of Te Huia coaches up the North Island main trunk on a delivery trip from Wellington to Hamilton. As we leave Huntly Station, we go over Bell Crossing Street. This was the same spot where Dad and I saw DXC 5293 leading train 220 to Auckland. But that was back in November 2020, and since then the locomotive has lost her distinctive KiwiRail Phase 1 colours in an overhaul, just like her equally unlucky classmate 5039. Further up the line, we pass through Pukekohe Station without stopping. The old ADL diesel multiple units that used to serve this station were withdrawn in August 2022, with the station now being temporarily closed and rebuilt as part of the long overdue project to extend the electrification down from Papakura. Upon arrival at the Strand station, DFBs 7335 and 7295 waited here for 50 minutes before returning to Hamilton. Now I'm well aware of the fact that Britomart has been electric only since 2015, but it's still annoying to have an entirely separate station so far away from the city centre as the only place for Te Huia and the Northern Explorer to end their runs. Of course there's only one bus service running along the Strand, that being the 755. But it only runs every 30 minutes in each direction if it's even running at all. That bus service needs to have a higher frequency, otherwise people will have to walk all the way over to the start of Beach Road to catch the inner link instead. Yeah, no prizes for guessing what I had to do after the DFBs left. Upon arrival at Britomart, I hastily got on the ever-boring AM 319 for an initial short hop to Newmarket. These dedicated shuttles were running to supplement the normal Swanson services, as the Papakura services had to be diverted via Panmure due to major engineering works between Newmarket and Westfield Junction. Originally, I was planning to go all the way out to Swanson, but I needed to be back at Kingsland no later than 12:15, so I only went as far as Baldwin Avenue instead. After a short lunch break, I found this pedestrian overbridge at the end of Stormont Place. Once back at the station, I got on AM 960 to return to Britomart. But of course I couldn't film the arrival due to a conveniently timed yet brief issue with the AT hop card initially refusing to tag on.
The next train departing from platform 5 is a Western Line service to Sydney.
After new customers, A1 to Brooklyn Track. Your 1402 service on the Southern Line to Papakura, Papakura Shortcut platform 3. All departures are on 3 carriages for the tunnelling of platform 3. Please do not board the service until advised by platform staff.
It only took me around 12 years since I started watching trains in Auckland, but I finally got around to getting off at Panmure Station. I ended up waiting much longer than I needed to before continuing further south, because I was waiting to get on one specific EMU, the often difficult to catch AM 593. AM 593 is one of only 6 units in this class that carry vinyl wrap liveries to promote rail safety, and she was the only one of these units that I actually saw running during this trip. Originally I had planned to ride on 593 down to Puhi Nui before transferring to a Papakura service, but I hastily decided to get off at Middlemore instead for reasons that will soon become obvious. The timing was incredibly tight, so I'm surprised that it worked out as well as it did.
tēnei, e ono o na waka.
The next train arriving at platform 2 is a Southern Line service to Papakura. This is a 6-carriage train.
That was DL 9020 hauling train 134 from Mission Bush to Westfield, hence the abrupt decision to leave AM 917 at Te Huia. As for the southbound AMs 484 and 443, they were running 15 minutes late at this point. And it probably goes without saying, but AM 484 is not to be confused with the Class 484 electric units that run on the Isle of Wight. Then I went to the nearby, albeit rather dated looking, Countdown supermarket and got a few things to eat on the train. Speaking of which, I chose to get on Te Huia in more familiar territory at Papakura because of the unnecessarily tedious process of getting from Britomart to the Strand. Yet another change of plans resulted in me getting off early at Rotokauri in order to film the southbound freight train 221, which was running close behind the passenger service. My last catch of the day was DFB 7267 going solo on train 221. This was an especially unusual catch for me, since this particular locomotive is normally based on the Wairarapa line, and you don't usually see DFBs hauling NIMT freight trains on their own.